everybody.
Hey guys.
We want to welcome you to our spring update video. And first, I just want to make a quick observation about the video we just saw. So that was us walking on our way to immigration in Shinagawa Station. And we were walking a little strip from the ticket gate to the outside. That is probably one of the most iconic filmed and videoed spots for talking about like the morning rush to work and those types of things, where you can just see everyone in their salaryman get up and just kind of the droning of that. And as you heard nothing. You just heard people walking and just kind of ambient noise, and that's true to life, to what that's like. And so that's what we experienced when we went to immigration last week, and it's just really different. You could tell there was not spacing, there was not a whole lot of concern for being distanced from each other, but things are just different here, and it's different in Japan and in our life too. So we just want to talk about that first.
Yeah, so first of all, we want to apologize for the long break in between the last video we posted to YouTube and this video. We just want to go ahead and catch you up on what's going on here in Tokyo, what's going on in our lives, like Daniel said. So we've mentioned this before, but just to reiterate, when the Olympics were postponed in late March, everything that we were doing was put on pause. And so that was a tough situation for us because we weren't really sure what to talk about in these videos. Because when the postponement happened, and because of our timing with our stateside assignment that's coming up, we stepped down from our coordinator roles for Connect 2020. But in that, we didn't really have other roles or responsibilities to fall back on at that time. And so it was really hard for us to figure out where we fit. But with the help of our next term supervisors, the people who are going to be supervising us in our new roles, we were able to take on some of those new roles' responsibilities. And that was really, really great for us because it was a way for us to contribute to the team in a new way, and to get out of that rut that we had found ourselves in of just not knowing what to do with our time. And so also at the same time this was happening, there was a different major transition for the Tokyo team. And so that led to even more change and more pausing and reconsidering everything. And so now with the time that we have remaining in this term, these next 2 months, we're going to be helping the Tokyo team as we work together to update our overarching strategy of how to reach the Japanese in Tokyo. And then we're also going to work to prepare our teammates to take on leadership of Connect 2020 when we go stateside. And then also we're going to continue working with our new supervisors in those new roles that we mentioned. So we're going to continue developing and working in those things as well.
Yeah, and so as she mentioned, we have a bit of an expiration date for this term. So we have about 2 months left, and we go stateside on September 8th. And while we're going to be there, we're going to be living in North Carolina, based out of the area around Southeastern Baptist Theological Seminary. And we're going to be taking trips to Georgia and to Tennessee and to California and maybe more. So it's going to be busy. It's going to be real busy for us. But to start off, we got to start with 2 weeks of quarantine. So we're going to get there to North Carolina, and we're going to be spending the first 2 weeks isolating ourselves, giving ourselves some space and following all the rules, and also just some time to decompress, get on the time zone. And then along with that, we have some main priorities that we want to hit while we're stateside over these next 6 months coming up in September. So one is to get refreshed and rest. We were encouraged by our home church pastor that we needed that, and that they're going to help us out with doing that. That also looks like going on some vacation too. Also, we want to spend some time with family and be able to connect with them. We haven't seen some of our family in a couple of years in person, so that's going to be really good. And then we also want to be connecting with churches. So not only our home church, but we have partner churches and other places that we want to establish connections with as well. So getting to spend that time with them is going to be really sweet, encouraging, and refreshing for us. Along with that, we have some other exciting things to be looking forward to that we're going to be doing throughout those 6 months. So One of those will be our stateside conference. So that's a week where we get to go up to the main office area for our organization and kind of debrief, refresh, connect with some of our friends. We'll also be looking forward to me getting to graduate. So I get to graduate from Southeastern in December with my MDiv in International Church Planting, so that's really cool and exciting. And then in the latter half of our 6 months, we're going to be looking forward to our appointment for career service with our organization, and then as well as our missions conference at our home church, which is one of the most encouraging times for us as missionaries. So along with that, we have some things we got to do before we even can get to stateside. So we have some preparatory things we got to do in order to prepare for our stateside and set ourselves up for success for when we come back. So there's just some practical but important things that we got to do, such as what we just looked at the beginning of this video. We went to immigration, and so part of that was working on visas, getting those documents and things that we need to do, or that we need to be able to come back and just go through immigration clean and clear, no worries, no holdups. We also are working through our medical directives, so that's just stuff that we have to get checked off on to be approved to return, that make sure that we're healthy and that we're in a good situation physically. So we're working on that. We're waiting for the official okay on that, but we've knocked out all those tasks that we have to do. We also have to store things. So because of the nature of our transition going stateside for 6 months and but not being career yet, we have to figure out a storage solution for some of the things that we've acquired, as well as some of those things that we brought here, just to keep it in a safe spot, a place that won't get moldy, a place that won't get be in the way. And so one thing that we're really thankful for is the Hawaii Pacific Baptist Convention has hooked us up with some help, and they actually rent a property owned by our organization here. And we talked with Chris Martin, so shout out Chris Martin, about being able to use that space for the time that we're gone to be able to take our stuff there. So HPBC is being really gracious to us and helping us out, and just a practical thing in the partnership of missions that we have with them. So we're really thankful. So thank you. And then beyond that, we also want to get our Japanese driver's license. It's notorious for being really hard for foreigners for one reason or another, but we're trying to squeeze that in with the last 2 months that we have left.
Yeah, so we're gonna need your prayers for a lot of those things. First of all, first prayer request is just pray for the Tokyo team, as we're taking some time to really pray through and talk through our overarching strategy and update it so that we can do the best work possible here. And then secondly, pray for Connect 2020, as we're going to be transitioning leadership from us to our teammates in the coming months. And then also just pray for us as we try to accomplish all these things Daniel just talked about in these next 2 months. It's a lot to be doing in addition to our work that we're already doing. So just pray for wisdom with our time and just for everything to go smoothly. And then also just pray that we would be wise as we make plans for our stateside time. You mentioned all those trips that we're making, and it is a lot. And so we have to be wise with where we spend our time, how we spend our time. And so just pray for wisdom and peace with that. And then lastly, just pray for the Japanese, specifically the Japanese churches. A lot of churches are starting to meet in person for the first time, whether that was maybe a few weeks ago. Our church actually is meeting for the first time this weekend. We're really excited to meet together, so pray for those churches to be wise and safe and just encouraged by the time that they're getting to spend together. And also, please pray for West Japan. I'm sure you've seen it in the news. West Japan has been hit incredibly hard by rainy season. Last year we had almost no rainy season, and this year we are getting clobbered, and specifically Kyushu, which is the island in West Japan. So just pray for those people who have lost loved ones. Pray for the church in West Japan and organizations that are going to go and help with disaster relief, that the Lord's name would be made famous through their efforts and through their help. So thank you guys for praying and for loving us and for loving the Japanese people. and hopefully we'll talk to you again soon. Thanks, guys.
Bye.